To address the issues facing Tennesseans today, from 10 News, this is Inside Tennessee.
Good morning and welcome to Inside Tennessee. I'm your moderator, John North. John Becker is away on assignment. All this month, April, we are talking about elections because we've got a pretty hefty ballot coming up May the 3rd. And our three guests today are on that ballot, and they are in a very competitive race for Knox County Chancellor. That would be part 2. It is a competitive race. There are 3 Republicans in the primary. Let me introduce those gentlemen to you. We have the incumbent, Clarence Pridemore. We have lawyer Deno Cole, and we have Richard Bud Armstrong, who is also an attorney and has been the law director for Knox County. So we're going to discuss their thoughts about serving as a chancellor, what they see as the chancellor's job, and hopefully some other stuff. Chancellor Pridemore, since you're the incumbent, let's go ahead and start with you, please, sir. If you don't mind, you've been on the bench now almost 8 years. I'd be interested in knowing why you'd like to go for it would be another 8 years. Go ahead.
I love being chancellor. It gives you the ability to interact with the public. It helps you with interacting with people who cannot afford lawyers and people who are in need of some type of support. People who, I love the adoptions. We do those almost every morning. And just to see the joy and the happiness on the parent and the kid's face is amazing. And it's really very, I guess thrilling is almost the word. It's very joyful when they come in. I love the adoptions. I love being able to help people with their problems with the law. And if they cannot afford an attorney, I like being able to treat them as if they are, as if they have an attorney. Also, it's gave me the insight into trying to help move cases along faster for the public in general. Since I got here in 2014, we've set more dates for trial each week. We've tried to move things along much quicker, and we have tried to finish the docket. When I came in here, we had about 1,300 active lawsuits pending. We got that down to about 900 cases, and then when the pandemic came along, then we're back up to about 1,200 cases. So we make good progress in trying to speed along justice and to keep the court system moving. And I tried to clean it up and move it along faster, but COVID kind of came along and messed things up for us.
Chancellor, we appreciate that. Mr. Cole, let's go ahead and hear from you. You've been an attorney here in Knoxville. What's your interest in being a chancellor? Oh, looks like we may have lost him for a minute. Hey, Bud, why don't you jump in? I know you've been on county commission and you've also been Knox County law director for 2 terms. What is your interest in being on the being a chancellor?
Well, John, I think it's a normal progression from being Knox County law director. I've dedicated my life to public service. As you mentioned, I was a commissioner. I served 8 years as the Knox County law director, which is a great preparatory job for becoming a chancellor. Men like Dale Workman, Judge Workman, and Mike Moyers, Chancellor Moyers, and neighborhood Chancellor Telford Fogarty, all were law directors before entering into the judiciary. I've always been in a position where I considered myself, for example, the people's lawyer. To become the chancellor would be a great honor to be the people's chancellor in such a way that I can help the citizens of our community come to great solutions to their cases of controversy, disputes that they may have, with the assurance that the facts will be applied to the law, and the conclusion of law that they will get will be the law that comes from the state legislature and not from the bench. Through my practice, I have had an opportunity to deal with chancery courts, both from the tax side, from the false claims side, and from the day-to-day issues related to chancery court, as well as circuit court. And I think I've had a great training ground where I've been able to be forced in the public to have the facts presented to me, to apply them to the law, and without an opportunity for advisement, have to come up with a conclusion of law in front of many times the public on TV and the newspapers and everything else with the scrutiny of making the right decisions. And when I've had to do written opinions, I have yet to have an opinion overturned by the Attorney General or any other person of statute in the state. And as I said, I've spent 8 years preparing for this, and I look forward to the opportunity if the people so select me.
Thank you, Bud. We appreciate that. Looks like we're still hunting for Mr. Cole, so let's continue to talk about this position of being a judge, being a chancellor. You know, I think at first blush, many people would say, oh my goodness, you must be a member of Mensa. You must be a genius to be able to take the bench. I've talked to some of my lawyer friends in town about, so what do you think it really takes to be a successful judge? And a couple of the qualities they've told me are to be a very good listener, to be a relatively nice human being, and to read the briefs and the law. So I'm curious your thoughts about that, Bud, and then we'll turn to you, Chancellor Pridemore. Go ahead, Bud.
Okay. Well, in addition to what I said before, I love the law. The process itself of applying the facts to the law, I've had to do that extensively in the past 8 years. I think to be a successful chancellor, yes, you do have to listen, but you have to have evidentiary hearings to see what the true facts are in question, because the law is pretty fixed, but it's the facts that massage the law to a conclusion of law based upon a particular case and controversy. And I think that a successful chancellor does have to have the analytical ability to discern the facts and ascertain what those facts are and how they actually apply to the law as presented by the state legislature, and then come to what we would hope to be a fair and equitable solution, because Chancery Court itself is the court of the traditional notion of fair play and substantial justice. And I think the experiences that I have had, both in private practice and as Knox County's law director, I've had to face those issues in the public. And I think the temperament to get along with people, to hold your composure, to analyze the facts, to apply those evidentiary issues to the law, and to come up with the traditional notion of fair play and substantial justice in conclusion of the law is what makes a good chancellor.
Thank you, Bud. Chancellor Pridemore, let's go ahead and hear from you in terms of what qualities you've discovered are most important in doing the job well.
Well, two things you have to remember. One is patience, and the other one is common sense. You have to learn to apply both of those when you're hearing testimony or when you're listening to witnesses or reading their briefs and those things. In the 7.5 years I've been here, I've presided over approximately 10,000 cases. And I think you can ask anyone from those cases at any time, and they will all tell you that I've treated them fair and respectful. And like I said, you don't have to be a genius, but you need common sense and you need the ability to treat everyone equally and fair.
Thank you, sir. It's time for us to take a break here on Inside Tennessee. We're talking to candidates for Chancellor, Knox County. We will be back in just a minute.